Hello and welcome to News 9 Facebook Live with me, Adarsh Vepachedu. The Global Handwashing Day that is observed every year on the 15th of October is another reminder at this crucial juncture about the importance of washing our hands with soap and water. One simply cannot ignore the fact that hand washing is the simplest, most affordable and effective way of keeping the coronavirus at bay, any virus for that matter. Well, the theme of this year's Global Handwashing Day is Hand Hygiene for All. The theme is primarily to urge people across society to achieve universal hand hygiene. And in this brief interaction, I will be telling you how and when to wash your hands, get an expert to drive home the importance of hand washing. But before all that, let me give you some quick hand hygiene facts. Well, did you know? It is estimated that washing hands with soap and water could reduce diarrheal disease associated deaths by up to 50%. Researchers in London estimate that if everyone routinely washed their hands, 1 million deaths a year could be prevented. And in another fact, a large percentage of foodborne disease outbreaks are spread by contaminated hands. Appropriate hand washing practices can really reduce the risk of foodborne illness and other infections as well. In another point, hand washing can reduce the risk of respiratory infections by about 16%. And that brings us to another pertinent question. When should you wash your hands? Well, wash your hands before preparing food or cooking, administering medicine to family members, or even while you're caring for a sick or injured person. Maybe while inserting or removing contact lenses as well, you should ensure that you wash your hands. Also, wash your hands after using public spaces. Like you come across so many frequently contacted surfaces in public spaces, let's just say the ATMs, lift buttons, door handles, taxis. You should ensure that all of these are really kept at bay. And even while you're preparing food, that is another point. Yes, you do come in contact with so many items, so you should ensure that you wash your hands. Using the washroom before and after, ensure you wash your hands. And while you're touching any pet or maybe animal toys. Even while blowing your nose or maybe when you're coughing or sneezing into your hands, make sure after that's done, you wash your hands. And after you treat wounds or in case if you're caring for a sick or injured person, after that, make sure you wash your hands. And yes, handling garbage, shaking hands. Again, after all of these activities, you should ensure that you're spending at least 20 to 30 seconds of your time washing your hands. Now, for the most important bit, let me show you how you must really wash your hands. Take a look at this video. So folks, I am right here to tell you as to how you can go ahead and efficiently wash your hands to protect yourself from the dreaded coronavirus. Now again, this is something that the authorities have been saying from the beginning as to how you should go ahead and wash your hands. So I'll tell you exactly how the authorities have been saying. So first of all, I'll try to avoid touching the faucet itself. So what I'll do is I'll simply go ahead and use my elbow and I'll wet my hands a little bit. And obviously at this point I can go ahead and turn off the tap again because water will have to conserve. So as you can see, I'm ensuring that I do not come in contact with any of the surfaces. I'm using my elbows. Once I've got my soap on, I ensure that I vigorously rub my hands for at least 20 seconds, about 20 to 30 seconds. So one good way to know when it's 20 seconds up, just sing the song Happy Birthday to You twice and you'll know that 20 seconds are up. So as you can see, I'm rubbing across the entire hand, and I'm also ensuring that the spaces, the crevices between your fingers are properly cleaned. The nails should also be rubbed and they should be cleaned nicely. And get to your wrist also. Ideally I shouldn't be wearing my watch, but yes. So about 20-30 seconds is good. And once I'm done, again I do not use my hands. I go ahead and get my hands nice and clean. Good amount of water. And again, use my elbow to turn the tap off. And there you have it. That's how I've got my hands washed without touching any surface for that matter. Obviously, once my hands are washed, I'm going to take a few tissues and I'm going to quickly dry them. So this is exactly how the authorities are saying you should wash your hands ideally at regular intervals. and for about 20 to 30 seconds. That's the way to go about it. Well, this Global Hand Washing Day, we have with us infectious diseases expert Dr. Trupti Gilada joining us live on the program. Many thanks, Doctor, for speaking to us. Well, with the vaccine still far away, doesn't hand hygiene and particularly hand wash assume great significance apart from, social distancing and universal masking? Your thoughts?
Look, you're absolutely right. This present pandemic of COVID has really highlighted the fault lines in our civic sense, especially hygiene practices. And it's absolutely essential that we use this as an opportunity to drive home the message of the importance of hand hygiene. Because even before Corona, we know that we did have over 1 lakh deaths just in India from diseases that could have been prevented by simple hand washing, especially diarrheal diseases in children and also respiratory illnesses like influenza.
Yes. Dr. Trupti, several experts are saying that, hand wash is much better than using a hand sanitizer. Advisories are also suggesting that only if you don't have access to a sink and water should you resort to using a hand sanitizer. Kindly elaborate on that for us, please.
So soap and water is actually the best modality to kill germs, which includes bacteria and viruses on the hands, especially because of the surfactant action of the soap. But we also understand that having access to soap and water at all times is extremely difficult. Like someone using public transport who gets off the bus or gets off the train is not going to have access to soap and water.
True.
So hand sanitizers, alcohol-based hand sanitizers that contain at least 70% alcohol also work very well. But what's important is to use it not just for a few seconds like we're used to doing, but for 20 seconds and follow the 7 steps very religiously.
Okay, well, many thanks, Dr. Trupti, for joining us and for sharing with us your insights, for telling us how important hand washing really is. Well, on the occasion of Global Hand Washing Day, let us ensure that we remember how important it is to wash our hands to stay healthy and germ-free. If you've liked the information that we've shared with you, this live interaction, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to News 9 on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Many thanks for joining us.